Hey guys, welcome to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So today we're back with an Ezreal supplementary guide taking a look at PTA Ezreal. So sorry for the lack of videos in the past week, I think it is now. I had a nasty throat infection, so couldn't really record videos. In fact, the last few remnants of it is still kind of around, so still cough here and there, but pretty much all right now. So let's take a look at the loadout and not waste any more time. So first off, the items, right? The build is basically the exact same as the Ezreal Complete Guide, so I'm not really going to explain too much about it. Nothing too complicated here. Really, the only difference is going for PTA/empowerment instead of Conquer. Now, I personally used to prefer taking PTA all the time, but nowadays I kind of realized that Conquer is actually a lot better in the mid to late game, whereas PTA is really only very good for lane. So, because of the inconsistency in the sense that if you don't get fed in lane and don't take advantage of PTA in lane. It's not as good in the later parts of the game, so I think Conqueror is a bit more consistent. But of course, PTA is a lot stronger in lane, as we'll see later on in our gameplay. And for the spells, in this particular game, I decided to go for Barrier because I didn't really need Cleanse, so Barrier was just a great option for me. But again, for a more detailed loadout explanation, refer to the Ezreal updated complete guide that I'll put up in the cards above right now. But let's just talk about the gameplay instead. Okay, so now taking a look at the gameplay, of course the first thing I kind of want to discuss is what we just talked about in the loadout in case you guys skipped it, which is basically PTA versus Conqueror. So, as I said, personally I love playing with PTA because I like to have that early game aggression and be able to do damage in lane. Now, Ezreal with PTA in lane is a really strong early game champion, as you will see later on in the gameplay. So, you can actually pretty easily get kills in lane, you can actually bully enemies and basically discourage trades against them. I know whenever I see an Ezreal with PTA, I do think twice before I go and trade with him because he just needs 3 hits like auto Q auto just to get a good trade. He doesn't even need his W or his E. Of course, he can use both of those to just get an even better trade as well. But of course, the issue with PTA is that if you don't get a significant advantage in lane, and by advantage I mean either kills, or if you don't get kills, you at least get tower plates, force enemy out of lane, things like that, right? So you either get a, if you don't get a significant advantage in lane, in the mid to late game, Conqueror just outclasses PTA by a lot, right? Like just in terms of pure stat and damage wise, Conqueror just gives you more, right? Gives you more AD, gives you the Omni Vamp, which is just better than the extra percent damage that you get from PTA, considering you can only proc it onto one person. Right, so here you can see I'm trading with a Brand. Brand realizes he's in trouble and basically has to pop the exhaust. And yeah, that's the power of the PTA in lane. So Brand probably is going to be recalling now and leaving Orianna APC alone in the lane. So with Conqueror, just in the mid to late game, it's just better because you can apply it onto everybody because you basically are buffing yourself with more AD and Omnivamp and you can use it on everybody, whereas with PTA, although the cooldown is not very long, you can really only do it onto one person at one time. So that's kind of the slight drawback here. So here I popped the barrier, heal is popped as well by my support. Go a little bit over aggressive there. Honestly, I think I was fine. Don't know if I needed 2 summoner spells there because I don't think I would have actually died. But we do get the aggression out, and we're going to just grab a recall right now and pick up our boots. Right, we are gonna lose like a minion or two because they do have the push in lane, but this is a very kind of strange game, right? Basically, you have Orianna APC and you have Brand support, and then you have a Vayne mid lane and a Syndra jungle, and the Syndra jungle kind of doesn't want to jungle, so is basically invading the mid lane of Vayne constantly, so it's pretty messy. I think obviously something has gone wrong in the enemy team where they were fighting over roles. No one wanted to jungle clearly, and there's now 2 mages, and then the marksman is not even coming to the dragon lane, so something very messy is going on. I'm not very sure what's happening, but you know, I'm all for it. If the enemy team has a poor team comp and probably infighting amongst themselves, it's only going to be easier to win the game. And it's going to balance out, like other games, your team is going to be the one fighting and fighting over roles and things like that. So in the grand scheme of things, you know, it happens to everybody. Riven here, going in, using literally everything, but the enemy's a little bit too close to the tower for us to really take advantage of it, and we were also not level 5, right? So a little bit impatient of a play from Riven. I think if she waited a little bit, I think we could have gone a free kill for sure. But regardless, we're still in a really decent spot. Like, the issue here is that we're not like doing extremely well against them. Like we are basically even in goal with Vayne. Morgana has a slight goal lead, like a 300 goal lead against Brand, which is very significant since that's basically a kill's worth. But we don't really have a very big advantage as of yet, which is, again, one of the weaknesses of having PTA as your rune. So here we're playing pretty aggressively. We're just pretty much just shoving the wave in. And just making the enemy lose minions, maybe looking for plates, you know, getting good tempo on our resets. And here we get a tier. Unfortunately, we cannot afford the Sheen, so we're going to have to get a longsword instead. And not too much action is happening in the early game, which is bad, right? Because obviously with this rune, we want more action in the early game. We want to be the ones to bring the action in the early game. So here I headed back to lane. But of course, something can happen at any time, right? Morgana hits one good route, you know, could be death for the enemy team. Brand takes a lot of damage, but does deal a lot of damage back. Morgana goes in with the ulti, I go into the ulti, Riven is now coming in for the dive. Riven now going in, gets the dive off, gets the reset, unfortunately trades 1 for 1 with the Orianna. Now here Orianna struggling to survive on the tower. We're just getting the plates while harassing her at the same time. There's not much she can really do against us. Of course she doesn't have ult, doesn't have flash, doesn't have ignite. Really can only clear the wave. And you can see, although we can't actually kill her, we can still try to force some tower damage. Bran is now on the way back. I'm backing on Vision, so I'm actually expecting to get interrupted here, but they actually just leave me alone, because obviously we can see the ward at the bush, but they actually just let me complete the recall, which is fine. And now we're going to head back over to the lane. Now here, the mid wave is just getting pushed in. I'm just ulting to help to thin the wave for Victor, as well as just to chunk out Syndra and Vayne just a little bit. And then we head back to our lane. And now at this point we are still kind of not ahead of Orianna. In fact, we're a little bit behind because Orianna did get the kill onto Riven, whereas we did not actually even get an assist somehow. We're actually still 0-0 and 0, which is ridiculous. I'm guessing that ult that we launched just now just did not hit, which is not good whatsoever. Now here Bran gets caught by Morgana, and here it is. Finally we get the kills. As I said, just one good catch from Morgana can change everything. Another catch comes in from Morgana. Unfortunately here she gets run down by Syndra. Not Syndra, by Orianna, but Orianna does choose to basically die for it. I mean, she knows she's not gonna survive me when she flashes in like that. But she chose to go for the 1-for-1 trade, which I think, all things considered, considering her team is not really doing that well, I think going for 1-for-1 is kind of fine. And this also allows me to get first tower and the other wave. So here, finally, that early game PTA has kind of paid off, right? We were able to use the PTA first to kill Bran, and then use it to kill Orianna right after, giving us the 2-0 KDA, and also getting us the first tower, giving us 6,000 gold, which now we have pretty much a 1,000 gold lead against majority of the other people in the game. We can also now rotate to the Herald and see if we can help our team out. Almost taking the Vayne out. Unfortunately, our team is kind of all dead except for Morgana. I'm not sure what possessed me to take the fruit there, even though I'm at full health. But our tower here living on 1 HP. All the enemy team has to do is walk up, tank a tower shot, and auto attack, but they're not doing that. So here, inexplicably, the tower lives for a long while, and only now just goes down. We pick up the next wave, and we're gonna rotate back up to top because everybody, all the enemies are kind of going there right now. And here I was just trying to poke them while they were trying to take the space. But it looks like they can get off a 3-man push in the top lane, so we gotta be a little bit cautious of that. We don't have ult for wave clear, and we don't have any backup anywhere close, so a little bit of a risky situation, but I don't think they're gonna dive us, so we are actually a-okay. Bran is trying to back, Morgana stops him. Orianna also in the vicinity. Now we're not sure where Vayne went. Vayne actually now spotted in the mid lane, so now we can play a bit more aggressively if we want, because the rest of the enemy team is actually on Vision. Vayne, however, goes on a rampage, and Basically, he's becoming a problem for us, and even Orianna is doing pretty well considering um, the situation of her team, right? So the enemy team is actually still, keeping up in terms of everything with us, right? They're still even in farm overall. They're even in towers, and none of them are doing particularly bad, right? In fact, Vayne is pretty fed, Orianna's pretty fed, and even the jungle Syndra is actually not even doing that bad, right? So definitely, it's a very weird enemy team, but it's not a free win for us by any means. So we're definitely still gonna have to try hard to win this one. So here we pick up our Triforce, which is of course Ezreal's 2-item power spike, which is his strongest power spike in the game pretty much. Lots of enemy vision in our jungle, just to clear that one out. Using the shift to get over the wall to join the mid lane, where it looks like a fight might occur. I mean, mid lane is a very high chance of fighting occurring pretty much all the time. Here just harassing them with my Q while farming and while pushing at the same time. Now Herald push is coming in from the enemy team in the top lane. Syndra is running towards danger, so I'm actually just here to cut her off. I miss all my spells pretty much. Pop the barrier just to block her ulti damage. And here I have to flash away because I'm in a pretty bad spot. I get off a 3 or 4 man ulti here, and Vayne's now gonna run me down, so I'm gonna have to arcane shift over the wall and run away. Vayne, of course, is getting even more fed than what she already was, so she's definitely gonna become a problem. I can't really 1v1 the Vayne at this point because she's pretty far ahead. I mean, honestly, maybe I could 1v1 her, but I'm not gonna to find out. Right. Why take a fair 1v1 when you can take an unfair like fight and kill her with the help of your team? Right, so here a huge wave has accumulated as a result of the Herald push. I'm just farming all those minions for free. And the next wave comes as well. I mean, with Dragon coming up, this is kind of where we want to be anyway. Baron's coming up 10 seconds after, so of course you always want to be careful of the overcommitment onto Dragon. There's a very easy... it's very easy for a team to overcommit onto Dragon and allow the enemy team to get the Baron. But thankfully we do secure the Dragon, enemy team does not get the Baron. Set is now running away on 1 HP, I'm trying to find him. There he is. And here we have a very long chase for Set, right? Because Set is pretty much running at the same speed as me. He's dodging everything, or rather I just have really bad aim. I've hit nothing on him so far. And finally he stops and yeah, we basically just stand still, auto attack him and kill him. Meanwhile, the Riven is kind of starting out the Baron, but Syndra is kind of doing a lot of damage to her. Now here we're just waiting to see if Syndra overcommits. She does. We are able to hop in and basically kill her. And remember, Syndra is the enemy jungler, so this is going to allow us to do the Baron. Like so. Now the Baron's secure, we just get a base and pick up some item components for the Riftmaker. And here Darius KS's the red buff, which is pretty unfortunate because he's like not even doing well. So here I get an ulti, 2-man ulti I think, onto the enemy bot lane, forcing the tower here. And now me and Victor are in a 2v2 against them. Obviously they don't really want this fight, so they're just walking away. And we nearly one-shot the Orianna there, which kind of just shows you how much damage Ezreal can do. We didn't even proc the PTA there. And Brand trying to recall under the tower. Almost stopped him, but didn't. But it's okay, we can just get this tier 2 tower for free. Victor getting a little bit caught out here. Brand pops the stasis very intelligently. And I'm going to pop the barrier here just to block that little bit of damage, just in case he bursts me down. And Vayne here picks up a double kill off of the overextension of my team, which is pretty bad because, again, Vayne is 8-2 right now, and she has 10k gold, which is, you know, I'm at like nearly 12k gold, but we do have Vayne and Orianna coming towards 11k gold. And there is another classic trap where we just basically wait there, use Victor as bait, and grab a free kill. Victor actually gets out, and here the Riven is coming, so I'm actually sticking around, using the ult to cancel the resets. Riven goes in onto the Brand, we go in, destroy the Brand, and Set is running away, running for the hills, and we are able to all get out alive. Now Orianna is headed down this way, but you know, I think it's time for us to reset, get the Riftmaker, you know, get the stasis just for the extra safety, especially against you know, Syndra and Brand, you know, very burst oriented champions. Stasis is very, very handy. And once again, Dragon and Baron are both coming up at roughly the same time. Baron just slightly after the Dragon. So same issue here. Of course, we don't want the enemy team to get a free Baron when we're doing Dragon. Now Syndra gets caught here, we one-shot her. A very nice catch by Morgana. Now pretty much I think most people that Morgana catch, unless it's set, we should be able to get rid of them pretty easily. Now here I'm focusing Vayne. I'm making sure to manual target the Vayne here. I flash over. I think Red Buff actually killed her, because I was just waiting for her to come out of invisibility, but she never did, and then I just got the kill credit, so I was like, wait a minute, how did that happen? But yeah, there I almost died to Set, popped the stasis to prevent the true damage from killing me. And pretty good stasis if I do say so myself. I end up going Legendary, and we're going to just push down the mid lane and look to end the game right here since we have gotten rid of all of them. However, Syndra is coming up, so I don't think we can really end, especially with that shield. So we're just going to go for the tier 2 tower instead. Meanwhile, Riven is just soloing the Dragon, and we get the Ocean Soul. I'm going to look for a reset, but just now I got spotted by the little fairy there, so I didn't want to recall there just in case someone catches me out, and that would be a pretty stupid death. So here I get Serelda's, because Bork is really mainly useful against the Set. Serelda's probably more useful against everybody else. And here we're just starting out the Baron, because we're so far ahead, there's no reason not to. If the enemy team comes, we can turn on them and kill them, or even just rush the Baron. Of course, being aware that Syndra is the one with the smite, as long as Syndra doesn't come close, we should be fine. We secure the Baron with Riven trying to turn away halfway. Set obviously gets caught. Vayne trying her best. Syndra goes down. And the rest of the enemy team is coming to kind of fight us, but I don't really think they can do very much. Two members of their team already down, in trade for our Darius, who has not been very useful the entire game. We have been the most fed member on the map for quite a while now. We're just making use of all that extra gold that we have just to bully the enemy team and just to like burst them down. Here I'm looking for a very, very dangerous burst onto Bran. And yeah, but unfortunately the enemy team doesn't even do anything to try to take advantage of my poor positioning. Victor left on 1 HP. I'm going to have to go in to kill Orianna so she doesn't kill my Victor. Now, I'm also not that healthy right now. I'm below half HP, but we're trying to look to force something here. Trying to lifesteal off of the minions using the Omnivamp we have from the boots and from the Riftmaker. Now here Vayne does a lot of damage to me. I nearly die, but I popped the stasis just in time for Victor to now save me. So the deed has been repaid. Syndra stun hits me over the wall, and thankfully I still survive. And I'm just gonna snipe out that Syndra just to round out the game with that extra kill. And we can just go ahead and end the game. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I'm gonna leave you guys with the stats as usual. Thank you guys so much for watching, and goodbye.